Hi there, I just wanted to show you the new CarMotion. I've actually put a trailer on here. This is not the original trailer. This is the setup at the moment. This is going to be the high street. I've just taped down the magnetic tape you see through here. And I'll show you the truck that I've got. I say it's not the original trailer, so if anything happens, and it does squeak, I've tested it. So here we go. There you go, lights come on, and off he goes. Just like in real life, on the high street, going past some cars, some parked cars on the high street. Get some oil on those squeaky wheels. Over a pothole, and off he goes. So there you have it. Hello and welcome back to Indalo. Well, today I'm actually going to be laying the magnetic tape on the high street for the Viessmann CarMotion car system. Now, I've done some experiments and I'm not going to share them because some of them didn't turn out too well, but I'm going to stick with my first option, and that is to actually route out the section for the magnetic tape just to drop down into. Now, this is only 0.5 mil wide, depth, and 5 millimeters wide. So it's very, very fine, but I've got a bit in my Dremel router now that I'm going to actually show you. I've done a little bit of it, but I'm going to spin you around and you can have a look at it. So that's the groove that it makes. Enough for it doesn't look very good at the moment, but I'm sure when it's cleaned up, it'll look a little bit like that for the tape just to go into, because then it's going to be covered over after. So this is what I've been doing. So let me show you a little bit of that in action. Always remember to wear safety glasses. Do get a lot of wood coming off, so I have to keep stopping every so often because this needs to cool down as well. But yeah, it's slowly but surely it's getting there. Okay, so I've done all the routing out for the tape and I've embedded it in to the board. I've actually put a couple of bits of tape in areas. I wanted to test out a couple of things. Viessmann do advise that when you have a connection of two pieces of tape, that you should actually drill a hole and then tuck the two tails in the hole. So I've had a little bit of experiment, as I always do. I've left a gap here just to see whether it will still continue without any problems. You'll see in a moment, not yet, but in a moment, what happens. And also here as well, I haven't put the hole here. I've just butted the tape up, if you can see that. Obviously, once that's all cemented in, covered over, you won't notice it. I've had to put some tape on here now just to really form that curve, because it is a little bit difficult. The tape just keeps popping out. So I guess you really want to see this little boy running. Well, let me show you what's happening up this other end. Now, I haven't done it yet, but I will. This is going to be where the other road comes in. And so I've routed out that, and I will put a piece of tape in here. So then I can cover all of this section over here. That can be covered and painted. And then you come along the high street, both sides, top and bottom. And on this lower section here, even though I've routed out, you've got a forward and a reverse. I'll go and a return in terms of the tape. Now I can't put tape at the moment in this one. That will take you down to where the other section is going to be. The simple reason is because if I did, it could actually veer off around there. So I'm going to leave that bit there open, but I can put the tape in this side because it's not going to interfere with it, because when it comes around here, it's not going to veer over to here and come back down this side. So this is going to be the return, and that's going to be the go. So I'll leave that for the moment. And once I've got the road going down the slope to the next section, I can put that in. So let me show you what it looks like. There you go, the lights come on, front and back, and off he goes. Oops. Sorry, that was me kicking the trestle. And it will sound a lot better as well. You got some board noise there, like empty board noise. When it's all covered and done. So if I actually, there you go, see the brake lights coming on as I'm trying to slow it down. And also they have the indicators as well. See the indicators there? If I really slow it down all the way to stop, and the brake lights come on as well. And I can also put on the, find the right button, oh, that's the headlights. You see the difference in the lights? So they're the dipped, sorry, and they're the main beam. So the main beam on. There you go, there's the hazard lights. So he's actually stopped in the middle of the road, put his hazard lights on. Now, wants to get going again, so he turns them off. Oh, that one, there we go, it's the right one. Got to get used to these controls, what one works what. It's 3 I should push, not C. C is to actually see a light flashing on inside. That's just to check the battery. Let's speed him up a little bit. And I'll see it from the rear. I'll try and show you the rear with the hazard lights. I think it's really good. They're really good trucks. It's a good product from Viessmann. But one thing I would say is that they are very delicate. More delicate really than a train. Let's just stop him there. And the reason I say that is because underneath, you've got to watch how you pick these up as well, because this second set, on a 6-wheeler, this second set here is the power wheel. There's just a free wheel, and that's obviously your turning axle. Best to pick it up, I found, via this area here, not here because they're turning wheels, especially if you need to pick it up quickly, or anything around here, or even the cab, or anything around the axle. Try not to touch that. Try to pick it up if you can there. And now, if I show you underneath, if I can get this to focus. Right, so the axle, how can I do this? The axle is this part in here. You see the whole thing moving, the bottom arm, the ski, the top rigid bar there, and the wheels. That is the complete axle assembly. Now, one of my trucks had a wheel that just decided to go its own way, whether that was the packaging when it was packaged, whether it was the transport, could have been me. But anyway, one of the wheels was, let's say, like that, and one of them was like that, straight. There was a problem. This axle in here is very, very delicate. I would actually, if I could advise Viessmann to actually not make this out of plastic, but some form of metal, like the ski, like very thin metal, because it's something that, you know, like the old Meccano sets that were metal. So this all in here can be made of metal, the axle, and I think it would last longer, because say I've had problems with one of mine. But all kudos to Viessmann. I contacted them and explained what's happened, and without hesitation they said to me, we'll send you a new one. Where do you want us to send it? So they're very, very good like that. Maybe it's something that they know about that happens with these, or maybe I just caught the support guy on a good day. But Klaus over at Viessmann in the customer support, I must say, he's very knowledgeable, very friendly, and he is accommodating. As I said, he said, we'll replace this for you straight away, not a problem. I mean, these trucks, they're very small. I mean, to give you an idea, I mean, that's the breadth of a hand, and that's how big they are. So they're only about, I would say, 4 or 5 inches in length, this one. You can obviously get bigger ones, but it's a HO scale. And these start from about 200 euros. And they go up to over 300 euros, depending on what sort of configuration you have. So they're not cheap. They are the price of a DCC train. I mean, I was surprised when I did see the price of them. But having said that, there is a lot of technology in there. I mean, underneath here, this is all, if I get it to focus. Come on, focus on my finger. This is all electronics in here. And underneath here, if you can see as well, that is a circuit board that runs down the center. I can point to it. I can't. Down the center of that. So there are a lot of intricate electronics involved inside this, and microchips and everything else to make it work. You can also plug in to the side. I think it's this removes here, this air tank, and you can put another tank there that gives you sound. So there's a lot of things you could do with them. So the electronics on the circuit board is all set up there, ready for the add-ons. Some of them come with internal lights. They all come with headlights, main beam or indicators, and obviously the reverse lights as well, because they do reverse. If you haven't seen that, it is quite funny. Let me just quickly show you. Turn him on, and you'll see from the back the reverse lights come on, and it starts to reverse. When I stop it, reverse lights come off and it starts again. Let me do that again. So he stops, reverse lights come on, and it starts to reverse. stops, reverse lights go out, and it goes forward again. So they are very, very good, really. But say that they're not the cheapest on the market, but I think, you know, the quality is quite good. Just a couple of little gripes, say, with the underside axle. That's all. I think if this could be made out of some sort of very fine metal like the ski, it would probably last a lot longer. Maybe they don't make, maybe the reason I'm thinking about it, they don't make it out of metal is because it might attract to the magnet. I don't know, but I'm sure there are other metals out there or something a little bit stronger than the plastic that it's underneath here can be used. But just a thought, I'm sure they will, obviously, if they keep getting that problem, find a solution. After all, they are German and they are very, very good at solving problems like that and being very efficient. So that's it for now. I've got to now get on with this board and start to take the sticky off the back of this. I've only just pushed it into the groove at the moment, just to do a dry fit to see if it all worked. And I will give you an update when I get the road cover on. I think I showed you the road cover before, but if I didn't, let me just quickly show you again. I did actually experiment with this. Now there's 3 different options here. One is where I just laid down the tape and just covered it over with some polyfiller. The next option is I just laid the tape, I don't know if you can see that, it's slightly raised. I laid the tape on top of the board and then I just painted over, so you've got a bit of a ridge. And the third option, which is the one I've gone for, is, you see the extension of that. I actually embedded it in the board itself. It's only just about 0.5 millimeter. That's all you need. And you know, even just like that, just with a fine skim of polyfiller over, just to really cement it in and get rid of any gaps, it's nice and level. And that was just with one coat of spray. You know, you hardly know it's there. So that's the option I went for out of the 3. That's option 1, on top, covered over. That one I thought it's going to be quite heavy. By the time I do all of this, the whole lot of it, and cover it with some sort of polyfiller, even if it's only just a millimeter thick, it's going to put a lot of weight onto it. So I thought what I'd do is, that option really wasn't an option because it could catch and there's a ridge on it. And the reason I didn't go for that, it's okay if you're going in a straight line, but when you come into areas like this where that they meet, they need to be smooth and level. So where this one comes up from this board here, it come round and it would just be level. So that's the reason why I couldn't go to that, because it might catch there. So with this one, it's completely submerged, it's sunk into the router groove, and that's just been sprayed over. Just a little bit of polyfiller just to hide any of the gaps, and it's done. So there you go. That's what I've got to do next on here. Get it all laid in, and when I've done that, I'll show you what it looks like. Bye for now.